Oh, is that you? Hello? Are we on? Oh, the elusive green mustache. When will you get it? When will you not get it? This fools it. No mustache through the magic mirror. There it is. Now it's gone. There it is. Oh, what good times. What good times. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm just looking for us on the other. I could have had this all set up. Trina, you're here. Good to see you. Oh my God, we saw the David Bowie tribute show the other night, and really loved it. Lady Jerry and I. It was like going to a show, but not really going to a show. Really loved it. Oh, I'm gonna turn this down now. I can see everyone. Flavia, good to see you. Bob, greetings to you. Dave, happy National Milk Day. Oh, it's National Milk Day. Top of the morning to you. Keith, greetings to you in Florida. Ouija, Alaska in the house. And Scott, hello. I don't know if I need the green mustache. Do I need that for the whole show? I don't think I do. Rachel, there you are. Oh, you just touch this thing, and then then that can happen, or you can turn it all off. Well, see, magic. Magic. So, yeah, it's a big day. It's a big day, big Tuesday. Thursday, we've got an appointment for Belinda to go in, and we're going to hear the news of how she's been progressing so far, and if we might be able to have a bit of visitors and whatnot. Hello, Adrian. Good to see you. Sue, you're here. Left your crappy day job to come and be entertained. Well, please entertain you now. Here we are now. Entertain us. Hopefully this doesn't wind up the way that it wound up. So we've got a big doctor's appointment on Thursday. I'm getting ready for my trip to Boston for my corporate gig, and excited about it. I've been doing prep calls. It's a global crowd, and the problem is we can't travel because of the pandemic. So we're broadcasting it. The attendees are all going to be virtual, but I'm going to be really at the headquarters. And so there's all these conference calls to make sure everybody's squared away to get onto the virtual thing, but everybody's virtual in the conference call. So yeah, it has been exciting, Flavia. But because it's global, international, and there's so many time zones, today there was people in the Netherlands and in Singapore and in Boston, and then I was in California. My time, the call for me, local time for me, was 5 a.m. That's when it was. So get up at 10 after 4 and be on it wasn't Zoom, it was WebEx, but you might as well be Zoom. Sarah, salutations to you, sir. And Ed, also you. So yeah, I've had an early morning. I had a 5 a.m.er and then another 2 more at 11 and 12. So I'm really going through the paces. I've got one tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. It'll be so nice to get on a plane and fly to Boston and be in the same room with the people who are making me get up early. Have dinner in the north end of Boston for you. Rachel, I will if that's on the menu. Ha ha ha. Yes, if I'm close enough to there, I will, and if their time permits, and if I feel comfortable, enough with the variants. That's the other thing, the variants. Oh my God! So you can't get the variant if you're not around any various people, and I'm only around Lady Jerry and the crew at the grocery store. So I'm playing it safe so far. This corporate gig might open up a new audience to you. You could end up being a legend in Tunisia. Well, Bob, I don't know. Are my days of going to Tunisia to do comedy shows over, or are they just beginning? Hard to say. Hit Mike's cannelloni while in Boston. Michael, that sounds like good advice. Yeah, Flavia, yeah, you have to avoid most people to stay healthy. Yes, yesterday, we had the plumber in to cap the gas line behind where the new electric stove is. And I've known this guy for 20-something years, so we're friends. And usually when you call, you get one of his minions, but they were busy on some giant job. So Daniel came himself, and we got to hang out and have a visit. And I was telling him, man, I'm so glad it's you, because this is my social life for today, to get to talk to my friend the plumber. My Friend the Plumber. That's a great kids book. If you haven't got it, you should check it out. Oh, Michael Brecky, hello from my grandparents' old neighborhood in Gladbrook, Iowa. Yes, exactly. That's my dad's hometown. Yeah, hello to you. It's not a big place, so say hello to everyone there for me, and thank you. So what have I got for today? Well, today, as you know, is the day we read a story from the children's Bible, and often, you know, I'm not up on my Bible, but today is the story of Daniel in the lion's den, which is a story that we know, I think, or we think we know. But it's interesting the way they presented it here in the Children's Illustrated Bible. Now this is a little illustrated. You're supposed to say spoiler alert before you show something like this, but there you go. You hear the bowling alley is still open in Gladbrook, Sister Sue is saying. Is that true? I wonder if it's true. How could they close it? That was also one of the main restaurants in Gladbrook. But these small towns in Iowa are really having a tough go, because less farmers are farming more land. In other words, the amount of land farmed per farmer is going up, which means that populations can go down, or there's not as many farm jobs for people. Yeah, so it sounds like the bowling alley is closed. Sad. Hashtag sad. Soon it's all going to be robots farming our food. Forget about GMO crops. We'll see what the robots farm up for us. All right, there's plenty of time to worry about that later. That's that's a fear, not a feat. Daniel in the lion's den is a feat, and also possibly a fear. Darius, the Mede, was so impressed by the wisdom of Daniel that he appointed him the most powerful man in the kingdom after himself. So, vice king, I guess. This made the other officials jealous, and they plotted to bring about Daniel's downfall. Some things never change. But, try as they might, they could find no fault in Daniel. It's really, maybe eventually you just go, hey, respect Daniel. We actually want you out bad enough to murder you, but we have to agree there's nothing wrong with you. So maybe we're just gonna be your friends underneath you. That's not the way these people do it. The only way we can harm him, they said to each other, is to try to make him do something against the laws of his God. Okay? At their request, Darius, the Mede, issued a ruling that for the next 30 days, no one should pray to any god, but only to the king himself. How did that meeting go? Hey, I got a king. Hey, sir, I got a great idea. Why don't we make it a law that everybody's just got to pray to you for the next month? After that, they can do whatever they want. But just for this month, everybody's got to pray to you. So they get this through Congress. It was a lot easier then. Any man found disobeying the new law would be thrown to the lions. Daniel heard of this, but continued to pray to God 3 times a day before his open window, which means in front of his open window, which looked toward Jerusalem and was in full view of the streets. Daniel rubbing their faces in it. His enemies gathered outside to watch, then went off triumphantly to report to the king. That was before you could just take a picture and post it on social media. You actually had to see something. I don't know what's stopping these a-holes from lying. They didn't have to do any of this stuff. But Darius was dismayed that his favorite, Daniel, should have been made a victim of his law. But there was nothing he could do to save him. Are you kidding me? The guy's the king. He could go, look, I passed this law because you guys said it was a good idea, and I see it's brought down this guy that you didn't like to begin with, and really, praying to me isn't all that important. I just need you to pay your taxes and make a lot of noise when I'm parading by the front of your house. But he doesn't do that. He says there's nothing he can do. He's the king. Of course there's something he can do. With a heavy heart, oh, so sad, the king gives the order for Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den. And then here's what he says, Darius says, "Your God will save you," he said to Daniel, and turned away to hide his sorrow. "I'm so sorry I got to lock you in this lion's den. But what else can I do? These guys, they talked me into making this rule. You were praying to your own God. I said not to do that. That was the rule. Your God will save you." He turns away with a heavy heart. The entrance was then sealed with a heavy stone. These lions are being kept in a cave, sealed by a heavy stone. That's not the way lion. I don't know. This is before the guys who wrote this children's Bible. This is before. This is before any kind of Wild Kingdom or Animal Planet, where we know that lions don't live in caves. Okay. That evening, Darius refused both food and drink because he was so sad that he locked Daniel in the cave, and he lay all night unable to sleep. Early the next morning, the king turned to where the lions were penned. "Daniel, Daniel," he called, "has your God protected you?" This Darius, he's not a sympathetic character to me, even though he's portrayed as a victim in this story. "The Lord has sent an angel to stand beside me, and the lions have left me untouched," said Daniel. Darius was overjoyed and at once gave the order for Daniel's release. No, never mind these other jerks who were going to go, "No, the lions have to eat him. Come on, the whole point of putting him..." Anyway, that's not the way it worked back then. Daniel was lifted out of the lion's den, unharmed and unafraid, for he knew that God was with him. Well, I had a feeling that this was going to happen because I've heard this story before, and it all worked out. This is the part that I didn't really remember. Then Darius had all the conspirators arrested with their wives and commanded them to be thrown to the lions. Holy cow. Where was that in the book? Where was the book? "Hey, you got to pray to me for a whole month, and if you don't, I'm throwing you to the lions. And then if I throw you to the lions and you get out, the guys who turned me in have to go into the lions." If that had been clearly spelled out, I don't think these guys would have turned him in. Anyway, at once the lions fell on these conspirators and their wives, savagely tearing them apart until there was nothing left of them but bones. Grisly, yes, but we've come to expect that from the Bible, and that's a happy ending for Daniel. These other fellas, and a lot of openings at the top of the leadership pyramid, because these were the guys at the top. Now they're all dead, and their wives. So everybody's getting promoted in Meade after Daniel survived the lion's den. So if you want to get to the top, be careful of Daniel and let the other guys turn him in. All right, here we go. Where are we now? Who's this Daniel? You missed an episode? I think you know who he is, Dave. Listening to an article about them genetically taking elephants up today with woolly mammoth's DNA, trying to bring back the woolly mammoth. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? They thought it might take a couple of tries. Yeah, the problem is that woolly mammoths are adapted to survive in another time. The reason they're extinct is it's fucked for woolly mammoths right now. This is not a good time to be a woolly mammoth. That's why there's not any left. So if we reactivate woolly mammoths, if we call them up for the National Guard of elephants and put them into service, these woolly mammoths are going to be miserable. We're not doing them any favors. I get it. I get why we want to, but I think it's a bad idea. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. So I'm against this bringing the woolly mammoths back. This is my preliminary stance. I got to do some of my own research, but I had heard about this before. I don't think it's a good idea. Bob, you're saying this isn't the lion story. You remember you thought Daniel ended up hooking up with another dude and doing a magic show in Reno. No. Bob, that's Siegfried and Roy. I know you knew that. And I'm not even sure that they were praying gentlemen. So it is an uplifting story, isn't it, Ouija? What about the story that inspired Darius to start Hootie and the Blowfish? That's not covered in this week's episode, Ed. But and I think that's Darius Rucker. That's a different Darius, not Darius of Meade or Mede. Could have been a Motivational Monday story. Could have been, but couldn't they all be? We could really use some Lions Den justice today, Dave's saying. Yeah, well, Lions Den justice is great until they're trying to throw you into the Lions Den. And that's really the problem with storming the Capitol also. Because if you're going to storm the Capitol, then once you're in charge, then the guys who you don't like, when they storm the Capitol, are you going to be down with that? Because they think that you're ruining America? No, I think we should stick to voting and leave the Lions out of it. But that's just me. So I'm against woolly mammoths, and I think we should leave lions and big cats in general out of our judicial system here in America. This is America. Only the mountain lion is indigenous to America anyway, and we don't even have many of them, and they got better things to do than get involved in our death penalty. I think it housed the woolly mammoth at the bowling alley in Gladbrook. We know it's free, Sister Sue is saying. Well, we don't. We don't know that. We just know that they closed the bowling alley. We don't know that they didn't. That could be a laser tag place now. Or it could be a vacant lot where they sell pumpkins for Halloween and pine trees for Christmas. We don't know. We need more research. Somebody's got to get on the internet. Let's take better care of the elephants. Scott, that is a great idea. I think we could focus on the elephants and just kind of let this woolly mammoth thing go. That wasn't even on our watch. Nobody even knows anybody who saw a woolly mammoth. Ed, you saw that I'm coming to Punchline in San Francisco in March. That is true. That is true, weather permitting and not enough pandemic going on. Rachel, did I ever work with Bob Saget? I'm glad that you asked me that. Bob Saget and I got to be friends in the 80s, the 1980s. And he's how many years older than me? 3.5, 4 years older than me. And so he was that much ahead of me, which doesn't seem like very much age difference now. But at the time when I was mid-20s and he was later 20s, he became successful. And then I had my breaks after him. But I knew Bob from those days, always the sweetest guy, so funny. Bob Saget, so pleasant to be around. Every time I saw him, it was great. And I visited him in New York one time at the beginning of his career when he was hosting this morning show before he got Full House and then America's Funniest Videos. And the funny thing is you read these reviews or these obituaries of Bob and they talk about how the public thought he was this one thing, as if Bob was fooling them. But really, what really happened was people saw Bob doing the act that he was doing then, which is similar to the act that he was doing now, and they gave him these jobs that he had because he was so charming and likable and silly and funny. They knew his act was dirty, but they also knew the difference between having a dirty act and being a silly, funny, charming man who would be great as the father on a family sitcom. And so he had that job. And then because he was so liked, he became the host of America's Funniest Videos and the other jobs that he had. Bob and I were both in the same movie, The Aristocrats, together. And if you'd like to see an example of his silly, dirty humor, which was not, it's dirty, but it's so silly, it doesn't creep you out. At least it doesn't creep me out. But every time I saw Bob, we laughed, and he always would sincerely say how good it was to see me, and I would say the same to him. And he was a guy who would tell you that he loved you a long time before that was a thing. The regular, we didn't call us cisgendered men at that time, but he would say I love you to me, and I would say I love you to him, and I knew that he lived somewhere on the west side of LA, and I'd always thought I was going to run into him again and have a hug and say I love you. And I have to say I was hit very hard when I heard that he'd passed away, and I wasn't going to have a chance to do that. And to be honest, it had been years since I'd run into him, but I knew if I saw him again, it would be the same as it ever was. And that news hit me pretty hard. I love Bob, and I'm very, very sorry that I'm not going to see him again. Unless we're all going to heaven, in which case, that's an upside to that, because that's going to be a sad day. Anyway, Ouija, you're Googling laser tag of Gladbrook. Sorry to take it down there, but thank you for asking about Bob. I meant to talk about Bob Saget today. Such a really great, terrific man, and I miss him already so much. So, Dave, you're saying that whole having a dirty act hosting primetime family shows probably wouldn't have flown so well in the days of the internets. Well, they would have figured out that he was this other guy. But also, when he was doing Full House and America's Funniest Videos, he wasn't also doing a ton of comedy shows because he was effing busy. Thank you, Kim. Yes, I was just saying what a good, kind person Bob was. Him and Norm are certainly cutting him up. Michael, yes, I hope so. I hope so. To lose Norm and Bob, and I know it's been a few years since Gary Shandling passed away, but man, it's just as... this is the problem with living to be older. You know, if you die young, a lot of people come to your funeral. And if you die old, you got to go to a lot of other people's funerals. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Well, I am sure. I'd rather have it this way, but there is a downside. You saying that Gladbrook's laser tag is open till 10, but they're closed Sunday and Monday? I believe it. Kim, you're saying you and Amber miss Belinda and I? Yes, we would. What would you like you to cook next? That's for an outside conversation, but I think Belinda definitely has some ideas. I'm going to Boston for this gig I was saying, so Belinda's going to need some food helpers while I'm gone. And hopefully we're going to get clearance from the doctor on Thursday for her to be able to have some more visitors and helpers present. Let's check the fun meter. Holy cow, even though it was a eulogy today, still we're in the maximum fun zone. And that's nice. That's nice. Here we go. This is a question from the travel question box. You're going to love this one, Sue. If your mom had a baby, would you prefer a brother or a sister? Well, my mom did have a baby. She had two babies. She had me and my sister. And I have to say, I am really happy to have a sister. And I wouldn't want to have it any other way. So I'm very happy having a sister. To have a brother as well, that might be nice. I've seen that go two ways. So it's hard to say. But I'm very happy the way things turned out. I don't know who this question is for. Like, is this for children in the car? If your mom had a baby, would you prefer a brother or a sister? You can get a lot of trouble that way. Your kid says they want a sister, and then your wife has a brother. Now are you in trouble? Oh my goodness. So anyway, I'm calling BS on that question from the question box. And now, what else can I do? What else can we do today? Oh, well, yeah. Let's play mini movie producer. Oh, our friend brought over a bunch of DVDs. My hair is really dried up and crazy right now. I just shaved Belinda's head down. She had some fluff, and we just went down to the scalp shaved head. So she's at her lifetime most bald, I would have to say. I mean, since she was a baby, and she looks great. I wonder if I have a baby picture of Lady Jerry here. I know I do, but I just don't know where it is. Off the top of my head. Well, that'll have to be for next time. Lady Jerry's baby picture. But let's do movie producer. So the category today, let's do comedy, because we need a little comedy after what's going on. Jack's Island. Jack's Island, type of film, feature film, comedy romance. And this is by Robert Newstetter. And he's from, at the time, Utica, New York. This is back in 1991, spring of 1991. Jack, 32, night school grad, engineer for city surveyor, meets mayor's daughter, Catherine. Jack and Catherine, I like it already. Great chemistry, frequent dates, mayor disapproves. Ooh, the mayor's daughter. This is what the mayor's daughter thinks that the mayor thinks his daughter Catherine could do better, but keeps Jack too busy to see her by ordering an update of old surveys. Ah, the old give your daughter's boyfriend a huge workload so he can't be a good boyfriend. Jack stumbles upon an error which allows him to legally claim and develop a 10 by 10 site in the middle of 5th Avenue and 42nd Street. Wait, is this New York? Jack's Island becomes a major attraction. Souvenirs, TV, ad space, big bucks. Little guy makes it. Newest celebrity and folk hero. Mayor unable to get rid of Jack's Island by exerting pressure from various city departments, realizes Jack is a winner. Ha! Who saw that coming? Jack is now a successful entrepreneur, donates his land back to the city. Of course, Jack gets to keep seeing Catherine, and I'd like to believe they get married and live happily ever after. That's not here in the synopsis, and I don't want to put words into Robert's mind or mouth, and who knows where Robert is now. That's a long time. Copyright 1989. So, whew! We're talking about, what is that? Oh my God. So that's 1990. How long ago was that, everybody? That's 32 years ago, 1989. So, so sad that we didn't get to see Jack's Island at the big cinema. Anyway, we got a bunch of screeners from our friend Tessa. So I'll be able to give you some movie reviews on some theatrical releases because I think we're going to be screening them with her when she watches them. And exciting. So we've got that going for us. And what else do we have going for us? Well, I'll be back on Friday. I'll be here for the Friday Happy Half Hour, I think, unless barring that I have to do a conference call, in which case the show will be a little bit late. But I think I'm here on Friday as scheduled. And then next week could be troubles. Who knows? Playing it by ear. But right now it's time for Seize the Day. Seize the Day. It's January 11th, and I hope you're ready to seize this one. I hope you're ready to seize this day, because it's time for Seize the Day. And today's Seize the Day, brought to you by Rachel, as always. Today's Seize the Day is from Mother Teresa. How about that? Here's a blast from the past. I wonder how many unproduced screenplays Mother Teresa's got. Matt, you just got your DVD of I Love You Today in the mail. I'm stoked too, because that means that the guy who's supposed to be sending them out did it. So I'm glad that happened. If anybody is out there waiting for something that they ordered, I apologize. I'm doing my best. And my goal is to get both of my specials and some other video clips on something like a Patreon or something, so that if people are members and they're supporters, they can watch that stuff there, and not to be. Anyway, it's time for Seize the Day. That was some day in the future that I'm going to seize, but right now I'm seizing this day with whose help? Mother Teresa. Spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. That's solid advice. And let me tell you something. That was also my experience of Bob Saget. Every time I saw him, I felt better when I walked away. So let's all try and do that. Not because I said so, because Mother Teresa said so. All right. I love you guys. Let's all try and take care of ourselves. Let's all try and take care of each other. Let's all try and be nice to a jerk. Oh, that gets tougher every day, but I'm telling you, that's the only way we're going to get through this. And finally, don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to give up later. This we know. This we know from experience. That's what got us this far. All right. I'll see you guys all on Friday. Have a good one. Love to love you, babies.